what we've seen over the last year, I look at those two indicators as kind of like a net in terms of goods demand in the United States. We've seen that earlier in the year. I pull up that chart. We're 10% up on intermodal, 10% down on OTVI.
Yep.
Right now, year over year, we're 2% down on intermodal, 15% down. There we go on OTVI. That's the year over year look, relative view. Intermodal's had some stickiness, but net demand has started to erode here in the last few months. And that's the thing that's the macroeconomic read on this data, is that we don't have the strong level of goods demand that we had at this point last year. Now, you can make the argument this time last year, the economy was a little overheated. I don't know how you make that argument too much, because I think we were actually in a fairly stable economic section outside of some pull forward activity.
Yeah.
Because of the Red Sea stuff, but we were fairly consistent with our goods demand. Inventory levels had stabilized for the most part. This year, inventory levels, we talked to Dr. Rogers, they're growing again. Like, we're starting to see people just go into this just in case-ish, not as strong as it was during the pandemic, mind you, but it's still kind of like this, I've got to make sure I have something here in case something goes off. That gives them more time to move goods across the country. Hence the reason intermodal is thriving in this environment compared to truckload.
Well, think about also, remember when we had the record amounts of TEUs coming into LA and Long Beach? Rail was able to handle it. That's one of the dogs that's not barking. July and August had some of the largest amounts of imports into LA and Long Beach on record. Now, depending upon who you ask, 70% of that inbound goes on rail. So what is extremely remarkable and kind of another dangerous thing for trucking is that when it counted, when we saw the craziness that in 2021 and 22 resulted in these service issues and congestion, the rail Class 1 railroad operators were able to handle that demand, and they're still hungry.
Yeah.